Hello and welcome back. We're so glad you're here today. Come and join the Young Toddler group as we interact and play. My name is Tamika Reese and I'll be your guide through these virtual visits. This week is the first week of spring. It's so beautiful outside. So if you have a chance, why don't you take your child outside, go play and explore. This month we're talking about bugs. So this is a perfect time for you to get out there and go look for those creepy crawly creatures and just take the time to kind of like talk to your child. So when you're out there, just look at them and maybe they can mimic some of the things that bugs do. So if you want to say, oh, look at this ant. Can you crawl like an ant? Can you show me how to crawl? Or you could be like, oh, look at that beautiful insect flying by. Let's see if we can fly around the playground or fly around the yard like this insect that's flying. So just take this time out while the sun is out. It's beautiful. The weather is nice. It's not too hot. In the morning time, it's really fresh. In the afternoon, it's like that just right temperature to be out there and soak up some of that sun because it's very important for your child to get that vitamin D. So this is the perfect time for you to do it. So to begin our lesson, we're going to start off with our opening, which is our welcome song. So remember, when we're doing this song, we're going to get our children engaged and understand the time for them to focus and to start with our activity that we're going to do for this time, and it's kind of help them to focus their energy and their attention to what's about to happen. So our song is Hello, and then also when they go into the Head Start classroom, this is also going to be when the morning time and the time for their routine to begin. They always start off with like a welcome song. So we want to kind of get you in the habit of you starting your child doing that and them hearing those type of songs in order for them to understand the purpose of that. And then also it's important to have a routine when you're doing things with your children, because that routine lets them know that understand the expectation of what's about to happen. So let's get started. So hello, 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 and how are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. So my name is Miss Tamika, so Miss Tamika's here, Miss Tamika's here. Hello, and how are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. And then you can insert your child's name. So if your child is Brianna, you can say, Brianna's here, Brianna's here. Hello, and how are you? And then your child will respond, I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. Then you go with everyone that's in the room. So if it's mommy's here, daddy's here, sister's here, whomever it is, hello, and how are you? And they would answer how they're feeling. I'm excited, and I hope that you are too. So this is just a song that you could do with your child just to welcome them and get them involved, everyone to get focused and get ready to enjoy the activity. So first we're going to start off with our book reading. So the name of our book is called Butterflies. Look at that beautiful picture of this butterfly. So this is just a book about the daily activities of different butterflies and insects. So let's read. So remember, when you're reading to your child, we're going to talk about the different parts of the book. So here we have the front of the book, and we also have the spine of the book, and then you have the back of the book. So let's get started. Butterflies. Benny Butterfly seeks shelter from the rain. Oh, look at that. See how beautiful that butterfly is. And he's hiding under what? A mushroom. Bianca Butterfly meets her bee friends at the hive. Look at all those busy bumblebees buzzing around the hive. Bzzz. They're playing with Bianca Butterfly. Let's see what the next butterfly is going to do. Who is this? Uh-oh. What is this? It says, one day, Catty Caterpillar will be a butterfly too. You can see that caterpillar? He's dreaming about the day that she becomes a butterfly. Because caterpillars turn into butterflies. Betty Butterfly stops to visit Sammy Squirrel. Say hello, Sammy Squirrel. Let's see what our next butterfly is going to do. Who is this? It's Sally Spider is hanging out with Brittany Butterfly and Laura Ladybug. So we have Sally Spider, Brittany Butterfly, and Laura Ladybug. They're all playing on the tree. Who is this? This is Brenda Butterfly. So Brenda Butterfly flies by the pond of Fred Frog. Brenda Butterfly and Fred Frog. And who is this? This is Bella Butterfly. Bella Butterfly enjoys trips through the flowers. She's flying through the flowers. Fly, fly, fly. What is this? Bernard Butterfly loves flowers just like his bee friends. Bzz. Bernard Butterfly. And who is this? This is Brooke Butterfly. Brooke Butterfly shows off her brightly colored wings. The end. So if you notice in the book, all of the butterflies had the name of the same beginning sound as butterfly. So we have B, Benny Butterfly, and we had, who else? Bianca Butterfly. So when you have things like that, this is called an alliteration. So that means the beginning sound of each word is the same. So Bianca Butterfly. So that's something that you should start noticing with your child, if they can understand the beginning sound of words. And when you have the same beginning sound of words that are repetitive, in a sentence, it's called an alliteration. So that's just our reading tip for today. So today, today's activity, our parent-child interaction, is entitled Sensory Box. So when we're doing this activity, what we're going to focus on, so our focus and what we're going to be kind of focusing what our child is doing is going to be on their cognitive development. So we're going to talk about your child feels different textures and hears different sounds as they feel and dumps things. So your child is realizing that the materials have their own unique properties, such as textures and weight. So when your child is doing this activity, these are some of the things you're going to focus on. And while they're doing it, just kind of think about their cognitive development. And that's what we're going to focus on while we're doing this activity, how we can enhance that particular skill. So your child is going to be dumping and feeling things, and they're going to be using their muscle control. So that's going to be kind of supporting their muscle development. And also, when you're doing this activity, you're going to support your child's language development. So your child is learning words as you talk about what you're doing. So you can say, keeping the bird seeds in the container. Let's make sure we keep them in the container. Let's scoop them all up in a pile and put them in the bowl. So them understanding and you demonstrating some of these things can help them support their language development. So those are the three those are the three developmental skills that we're going to focus on while we're doing this activity. So in order to do this activity, first thing you're going to need is a large container. It can be kind of deep or shallow. Here I have just like a little tray. Or it could be something as shallow as this, or it could be deeper than this, because you want to make sure you keep everything inside of a container. Then you can use maybe like a sheet or a plastic tablecloth in order to either protect the table, to kind of minimize the cleaning, to help minimize the mess, or you could put it on the floor, or depending on how you want to do this activity, it'll be a great activity to take outside. Remember talking about that vitamin D that we need. So maybe you could take this activity outside and it can kind of help you with the cleanup of it. And then you're going to also need some kind of dry sensory material, depending on what you have at home. Maybe you can use bird seeds. Some other suggestions like oatmeal, rice, or beans. And I know times right now we don't want to waste food. So maybe you could do this activity maybe with water, because that could be a different way for you to kind of change up that sensory. But it is for them to have like the textured sensory. So maybe Maybe you can kind of do this activity at the playground and go do it with some sand on the playground. Or you can go, like some playgrounds have like the wood chips. That's another way for you to do this. Maybe you don't want to waste the food, but this is a way where you can do the activity so that you're not playing with food, because I know it's very important that we teach our children not to play with food. So that's just some suggestions that I have for you. Then you're going to need different like containers, cups, funnels, scoops, bowls, and spoons. So I have those here. You can do that. So let's talk about safety. So our safety tip for this activity is understanding that small objects can be a choking hazard. So make sure your child does not put any of the materials in their nose, mouth, or ears, especially things like beans. I've had that experience with my own child. So it's very important that you're monitoring your child and that they're not sticking anything up their nose or putting in their ear or accidentally putting it in their mouth. So it's very important that you watch your child while you're doing this. So the first step to doing this activity is to fill the container, your tray, or whatever you're going to choose to use, with the dry material. If you want to use rice, oatmeal, however you want to do it. This container is quite large, so depending on the extent of the activity, you might want to use, maybe you can use a smaller container because you don't want to waste any food. So you're gonna have your you're gonna put the put the things inside. Oh, you can put the sheet or anything on the floor in order to help protect or reduce the waste of whatever you're gonna do. So you can put your sheet or your plastic tablecloth down. Or remember I was saying you can do it outside. It's up to you how you want to do this activity. Then you're going to place the container in the middle of the sheet and let your child take the lid off. So that's like if you have like a big container with the lid, because this suggests that you do a box with the lid. Or maybe like a cardboard box like that comes with from copy paper or any type of plastic storage container. So you let the child come and take the lid off and begin to explore. It says dig in. Encourage your child to pour, shift, fill, and bury objects. So while you're doing this, you're going to kind of encourage your child. And remember, while you're doing this, use those same vocabulary. Pour the oatmeal into the bowl. Shift, like if you have a strainer. Can you shift these bird seeds down into the tray? Or let's fill this bowl up with our oatmeal. Or you can say, oh, let's bury this card underneath the rice. So make sure you're using those type of vocabulary words when you're doing this activity with your child. So you can also talk to your child about different positional words like under. Where is the car? The car is under the rice. Or you can talk about over. We're going to put our cup over this pile of beans. Or you could talk about the car is inside the bird seeds, or this bowl is outside of the oatmeal. So those are different things you can do. Understanding to be intentional about the words that you're using and what you're telling your child, because it's very important while you're doing these activities to be intentional about the words that you're saying and talking to your children. And also, we want to make sure that we talk to our child about what we're doing while we're playing, while you're engaged in the play. Oh, look at you. Well, let's pile everything all together. So we're going to put all this oatmeal into one pile. Can you help me? Pile it up with me. So just being intentional about not just not always leading the play, but kind of like being intentional about how you're going to kind of mold your child into the things that you're trying to help them do. And also kind of step back and let your child take the lead and see what they're doing. And while they're taking the lead and they're playing, you tell them, oh, look at you. You rolled your car over the pile of oatmeal. Or, uh-oh, you put your car straight through that pile of oatmeal. So talking to your child about what they're doing while they're playing. That's very important. So while we're doing this activity, the parenting behavior. Your parenting behavior is going to be responding. As you're asking your child to borrow a shovel, you can give your child the opportunity to lead your play. Your child is starting to learn two different concepts of sharing and taking turns. So while you're, as the parent, when you're engaged with this play with your child, you're going to kind of like responding to them as they're taking the lead and what they're doing during this play. Okay, so for this activity, in a way for you to extend it, is to sensory play is calming activity for most children. So for most children, it is calming. Some they might have like that texture sensitivity. So just be mindful of how your child responds to this activity. Okay, so using it to wind down before bed helps with other transitions. So maybe you can take measuring cups, funnels, bowls, and spoons in the tub. So maybe that's how you could transition this activity from the tray to the tub to your bathtub. So maybe you could take these items in the bathtub and allow your child to pour and make bubbles. Use prepositional words to talk to your child about pouring. Can you get in front of, can you get the front of your tummy all wet? So that's talking about the front of your tummy. Or what does it feel like to pour the water down your back? Or can you pour the water over your head? So these are things that you can do, kind of extend this activity from the dry material to the tub, to the bathtub. And then you're also talking about these positional words as far as like on, under, over, front, back. So positional words are talking about the position of where you want things to be or where something is. So just make sure that you're intentional about what you're saying and how and the vocabulary that you're offering to your child. I hope you enjoy this activity and happy pouring. The parent-centered development for this week, we're going to talk about self-regulation. What is self-regulation? Self-regulation is the child's ability to control his or her behavior. It develops over time and involves many aspects of social, emotional, and cognitive development. So it's not just their emotions, but learning how to control their own behaviors and their feelings is it involves their social, their emotional, and their cognitive development. So self-regulation can also be taught and thought of as successful integration of emotions. So what a child feels and cognitively what a child knows or can do, resulting into appropriate behavior. So I guess when you feel like your child is being able to regulate their own behaviors and their own emotions, that's kind of like talking about appropriate behavior. Some other things you might know about self-regulation. So self-regulation is not related to intelligence. Factors that help shape how a child can regulate their self includes the age, their biology. It includes relationships. So it's very important, the relationships that you have with your child and that your child have with others. It also contributes to them being able to regulate themselves, and it also their cognition, understanding and using language in order to express themselves emotionally. It does take it takes a part as far as a factor of self-regulation. Why self-regulation matters. Self-regulation appears to help children solve problems and develop coping skills. So this is very important. So you might not think as a 2-year-old that this is something that you should be thinking about, but you're setting the foundation with your child at this age of them being able to regulate themselves. So it's very important as far as you as a parent, what you do and how you respond. Honestly, your child actually sees more of what you do than more of what you say. So they're going to mimic what they see you do more than what you tell them to do. So if you're screaming and you're hollering, you're like, stop, no, don't do that, no. Your child is going to actually have those type of reactions also. So it's very important for you to kind of keep like a calm nature about yourself. So this is something you could do. So as infancy, self-soothing kind of helps a child in infancy, learning helping them understand how to soothe themselves. No, I'm not saying let your child cry until they cry themselves to sleep, but it's okay for you to kind of like give them a moment instead of jumping at every limb when they say then you're running to their rescue. Sometimes it's okay for them to be able to learn how to soothe themselves. So for in toddlerhood, managing their emotions, that's very important. So during the toddler stage, children learn more about their feelings and begin to connect situations to emotions. This is a difficult yet important time of growth for children, often filled with displays of emotional extremes such as rage, from excitement to frustration. So your child can go from these extremes from 1 second to the next. So if you know, have you ever seen your child like have a like this huge tantrum? They're crying, they're screaming, they're so upset, and all it takes is that one moment, and then 2 seconds later, they're happy, they're laughing with you, and it's just because they don't understand how to regulate those emotions, and but they're learning. So children, as children self-regulate and language skills develop, their temper tantrums and emotional outbursts become more manageable, and happen less often. So what parents can do. So for all children, provide structure and predictability. Remember I was talking about that routine, being able to understand what's going to happen next. Having that routine is very important, especially at this age. A routine, let me say it again, a routine is very important at this age for children. So modeling self-control and self-regulation in words, actions when you're frustrated, upset, or excited. And also what you can do is seek help. If your child is struggling with managing their emotions and behaviors, early identification and interventions can help, can support both you and your child during these developmental skills. So for a toddler, what you can do as a parent, you can find ways to say yes rather than no. Can you bang the pots with the spoon instead of banging it on the glass table? So this is how we're so it's talking about like redirection. Instead of saying stop, no, don't do that. Like tell them what you want them to do instead of always telling them what not to do. And that is a very good way for you to help them learn how to eliminate kind of telling them no, no, no all the time. Because if you telling your child no, 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 I promise you when you ask them to do something, their response is going to be no, no, no. So you can name emotions. So using those words like happy, sad, embarrassed, and proud, describing the feelings that they're feeling, so that they'll be able to label them later on. And then anticipate transitions and announce change to normal daily routines well in advance. So if you know that um, if they're eating and you know it's about to be nap time, let them know, all right, we're going to go ahead and change your diaper and then we're going to go down for nap, okay? You have 3 more minutes. I'm going to give you a few more minutes to eat. But when you're finished eating, we're going to change your diaper and we're going to go down for nap. So letting them know what to expect and also having that routine is very important. And last but not least, you can be involved. Anticipate inappropriate behaviors and redirect it. So we kind of know when our child is kind of getting antsy or upset, especially like if we're going out, going to the doctor or running errands. We know that it's hard on little kids in order to do certain things like that. If they're used to being at home, being free, and you're having them kind of like holding them or holding your hand or keeping them kind of like caged up all day because you have different things you have to go ahead and handle. Make sure you have those different things in your bag ready for you. A book, a toy, some snacks, things like that, because you're going to have to anticipate some of these inappropriate behaviors in order for you and have a plan for you, a plan in place if that child is kind of getting sleepy or tired or restless because you're doing things. But having those things on hand is very helpful. So you can look more into this handout, and if you need any more information or support, go ahead and talk to your home visitor, and I'm pretty sure they'll be happy to help you. So our family well-being for this week, we're going to talk about mental health. What is mental health? Mental health means that young children are growing in their ability to understand and share feelings and have close, positive relationships and explore and learn. Why is mental health important? It's important to have a positive mental health. It makes it easier for children to have close relationships with friends and family. It helps them do well in school. Having that positive outlook helps them learn to do new things, and it helps them through solving problems. So these are some things. When a child is when a young child is worried, sad, or angry, it can be hard for them to make friends, to follow directions, express feelings or wishes, or follow simple directions when they have those that kind of like distress going on in their mind, and it's hard for them to pay attention in class, and it's hard for them to do well in school. So those are some of the reasons why mental health is very important. So what you can do, the things that you do and say help your child. Remember that. You're setting the foundation for your child's mental health. So everything that you say and do is very important. And you as a parent, it's very important for you to make sure that you're setting that good, stable foundation in the home for them to have this good mental health. So what you can do, so we're going to be talking about your toddler and preschooler. So what you can do is make sure that your child feels safe. It's very important that your child is safe. Offer choices, and that's very important for you to be able to offer choices. Not saying that they have to tell you, oh, I want this, I want that, but give them the option of saying, do you want the cracker or do you want cheese? Or do you want the cracker or do you want cookies? Giving them that choice, being able to now understanding that there's options out there and they have to learn how to make that choice is very important. So you could do that, especially kind of like eliminating that battle when you're getting them dressed. You might want giving them that choice of, do you want this pair of shoes or this pair of shoes to go with your outfit? It's very important to start at this age. Practice patience. That's kind of hard. So let's see. Let's wait until the song is over, then we'll go outside. So that's kind of like, those are little things that you can do. Maybe it's the child may not understand why you're doing it at that time, but just being intentional about some of the things that you're doing. So when you're doing, like if you're playing or you're watching maybe a TV show and your child is wanting to go outside, kind of like, all right, we're going to wait. And when this show goes off, when it's over, then you'll be able to go outside and play. And that's kind of little things and tidbits that you can do to help your child. Making sure that you give your child extra time to do activities is very important. Playing together at least 15 minutes a day, that really helps your child. Or following your child's interests, that helps. Praising your child when your child keeps trying to do things. That's very important. When you see that your child is being persistent or really trying to figure something out, maybe it's a puzzle, maybe it's trying to put the top on their cup, or maybe it's just when they're trying to put their toy away and they're trying to put that one toy in a specific spot. Just understanding the effort that your child is putting into doing that and praising them for that. And lastly, practice following directions. So an example of that is first pick up the blocks, then take out the cars. So just helping them understand the importance of following directions and understand my word for the day is being intentional about the things that you're doing when you're interacting with your child. So that's our family well-being for today, is talking about mental health. I'm so glad you were able to join us here with our video, in our virtual video. I hope you have a wonderful week. Remember, we're going to have our socialization this Thursday. Remember, it was supposed to be Friday, but we changed it to Thursday. So it's very important to come and enjoy those things. If you remember, we have in our packet, there's going to be like a white little bag with some little bunny ears, some eyes and nose. So that's what you're going to need for your socialization. And remember, again, it's going to be on Thursday, March 25th, from 9 to maybe like 10:30. So it's just a little bit of time, but it's very important for you to have that time with your child. And then you can see some of the other faces that are in our home-based program. So your home visitor will be sending you out the link to the socialization. It'll be via Zoom, 9 o'clock in the morning. Remember that, 9 o'clock. So have your child up, teeth brushed, face washed, clothes, and ready to go for 9 a.m. Hope to see you there. Thank you and have a wonderful week.